Hi. Looks like I'm in a shadow. I'm try turning around. Maybe that's better. I'm trying to keep my notes in front of me too, so that hopefully it makes some sense. What I want to share today is three kind of like backstories, I guess. So I want to share three backstories of what God has been doing in my life in the last few years and where I feel like it's leading me to right now. So story number one is pretty much everybody that's in this group knows I started this group about a year ago for the Rise Up event in Washington, D.C. And when I first heard about the event, God clearly showed me I was supposed to go. And as soon as I said yes, I had everything taken care of. And then He gave me like a download of 6 weeks of stuff that I needed to share with other women who were going, with women who were supporting, with men who were supporting, and just that whole message of rise up, wake up, there's something to do. And yes, it's to go to this event and to pray and to join, but it also talked about over and over again is the beginning of a movement. It's not just an event. It didn't start last October. It started then. It didn't end. It was just an event. And super, super powerful, super impactful. I came home knowing there was more and knowing I was to continue, but really struggling with what that looked like. Story number two is about 3.5 years ago. God gave me the idea for a book or possibly a series of books called Ready, Set, Run. And the same idea really of like there's stuff coming and we need to get ready. We need to get ready spiritually. We need to get ready in our soul, our mental, emotional health, and we need to get ready just like practically. If we've got too many commitments, if we've got too much stuff, if we've got too much debt, too much weight, not enough energy, like all of these things, we need to get ready. And we need to set our mind on things above. We need to set our thoughts on God's thoughts. We need to set our hearts on things in heaven. And then we need to run the race that's set before us. And we need to set aside things too. And so this idea, this message, and I worked on it and I tried to write it and it just never quite came together. But I would kind of keep coming back to it, and maybe I'm supposed to write it this year, maybe I'm supposed to write it this year, and this didn't really. And so then that brings in, well, it doesn't really yet, but bring in story number three. Story number three is the idea of life coaching. I have always loved the idea of being a life coach, and I've always put it out there as I'll do that someday. Like, I don't know, when my kids are grown, which would be soon, except that I had a baby 1.5 years ago. So that like put someday way out there again. And, but this last year with Rise Up and like get ready and just trying to be really intentional in following what the Lord has for me, I came to like, I'm not just supposed to write and share my message. I am supposed to be life coaching and figuring out what that looks like. And so now I'm going to try, hopefully, to tie these three stories together. About a month ago, I was working with a lady on bringing her faith. Well, she had been led by the Lord to boldly bring her faith into her business. And she actually is making a business of helping women boldly bring their faith into their business, whether it's a faith, like it doesn't have to be Christian life coaching. They can have a health and wellness business, but how do they bring their faith in and be bold with what that means to them and include it as part of what they're doing? And finally admitted to her that, like, yeah, actually, I'm supposed to be life coaching. I'm supposed to be pursuing this, and I'm going to start that. And once I committed, I got this idea of the Ready, Set, Run came back. Like, maybe that's what this message is. Like, that would be my life coaching message of I can help you get ready, identify what God is calling you to. I can help you set things in place. I can encourage you to run. And then the Lord challenged me that running is something we do on our own. And Isaiah 40:31 or 31:40, got my numbers backwards, I think, we'll run and not grow weary, and will walk and not faint. And those are awesome promises. But I went back and read the verse again and realized that the soar on wings like eagles comes first. And I think in our culture, we try to walk and we try to run and hope that maybe someday out there we'll soar. But he put it first. And so I'm actually going to do Ready, Set, Soar, because that's supernatural. We can't do that on our own. And the time and season we're in, the things that God is calling each of us to, even if, and it's not even if, it's not any less kingdom, but like if it's get your soul healed, if it's be an awesome wife and mom, if it's be a super employee, whatever it is that he's calling you to in this season, it's supernatural and it's a step to more. And so it's a call to rise up, to soar. And so it, kind of fits in. And so I've been working on this idea and I've been trying to find my notes and like finding bits and pieces and just going, I really thought I had more. I really thought I had done more of this. And yesterday I was on a coaching call and Tegan decided not to go to sleep. So she was up and she was unpacking the bookshelf behind me and bringing me things. And so I was just stacking them on the table because she was staying content and quiet. And so then when I was done, I was like, okay, now my table is covered. I might as well sort through this stuff before I put it back on the shelf. I might be able to thin it down a little bit. And so the first notebook I opened, the first page, I'm going to read it to you. It says, Ready, Set, Run. I feel the Lord saying it's time to take what we know and run with it. There's more to learn, more to change, but we need to run with what we've got. He's so good and so big that we can run in one area while we're barely crawling in another. And as we run in one area, we'll be able to better run in other areas as well. So just confirmation that he's pulling things together, and like how that ties to this group is I want it to be a place where if you're trying to figure out what he's calling you to, we as a community can help you with that. If you are trying to set things in place to pursue what he's calling you to, we can be a support and accountability networking for that. If you are ready to soar and you need some place to share and celebrate the steps that you're taking and celebrate how you're soaring, if you need people to come and soar with you, that can be part of this group. And it's my dream, and I think God's calling that there will be a few, whether you're in this group or there'll be other people that I will personally partner with, and I have dreams of doing like how we can do it as a group, to walk through that process, because we're all called to soar. And for some of you, that's starting new ministries. For some of you, it's learning to set boundaries and value yourself. And they're all just as important. And so I would love to hear back from you if this resonates with you. If you have ideas on what would be helpful or even ways that you would like to help. I'm super excited for what God is doing, and I'm learning to soar. Have a great Labor Day weekend.